Hello and welcome to Wisdom Hour. I have a tricky question to answer today, so it's going to be interesting to see what we get through muscle testing for this lady. How can I cut my abusive brother out of my life without affecting my daughter's relationship with her grandparents? He lives with them. My brother and I haven't spoken in around 3 years. He still lives at home with my parents. Anytime I go to visit, he is there. Everyone, including my parents, are wary about how they speak to him. I think that she means the other way around, as he will explode with anger if spoken to or asked a question he doesn't like the sound of. Recently he has physically abused toward me when I visited after I had asked a question in front of my mother, his girlfriend and my daughter. My mother will always have an excuse for why he acts a certain way. It's always someone else's fault why he reacts the way he does. My father knows that my brother is a loose cannon, but he has said he feels he doesn't know what to do as he is now 24. He also doesn't want to affect the relationship he has with my mother by stating his feelings. I would like to not be in my brother's presence. My daughter loves her family and wishes only to have everyone together. I want her to feel safe and to have memories of a happy childhood. I feel he's a bad role model for my daughter. I'm not sure what to do or how to handle this situation. If it was just down to my feelings, I wouldn't visit or have any association with my brother again. But as she said, she doesn't want to cut off her daughter's experience of having a full family and seeing her grandparents, etc., where the brother lives. So it's a tricky one, isn't it? Gosh, I wonder what wisdom we'll get around this today. I'm curious now. Okay, give me a yes. Give me a no. She's happy for me to come in. Want to work with to have a touch around above the waist, below the waist. Get your hands and place them on your head, heart, where? On your body, head, heart, on your solar plexus, which is just under your rib cage, above your belly. Notice how you feel under your hands here, and get clear that this feeling is everything to do with how you experience your brother. His outbursts aren't anything to do with you, and he doesn't know how to control them. He gets very angry very easily because he gets confused between his present, which he has not processed, which makes time, but he doesn't experience it this way. Instead, he experiences his effect of this, which is general annoyance and present anger to anything which makes him feel worried about things that he can't express. He gets angry because when you say something that is clear and truthful, he he practically he engages in anything to block this out, because from his child's point of view, that is his inner child, he can't go there. And the reason he can't go there is because he was placed in a situation at school where he was a real victim through bullying, and he now gets very angry whenever he perceives that he is being attacked. Of course, you are not trying to attack him, but that is the inner child's perception, because the inner child experienced such devastating bullying. Your brother got a defensive attitude as he got older, and he also practiced what he had been taught about how to treat others. In other words, he absorbed this way of treating others because he had no resources to give the bullies he had no resources to give the bullies a fright by turning their horrible words and nasty jibes back on them. In other words, returning them to where they were originating from. Because he couldn't do this, he absorbed this way of acting when under attack, and he got practical. He got pressure taken off him by deflecting things onto other people. He learned how to do this by experiencing this form of deflection from other places, from other practical experiences where where others would get away with things if they could deflect the pressure. By this we mean he learned how to turn the practical statement or question into a form of attack and turn it onto the person who asks the original question or makes the statement. How complicated, yes. It's a question, statement. You won't get him to change this tactic until he learns that it doesn't work anymore. And the way he will learn this is by your reaction to it. When this upsets you and you get angry back at him and you think he is a horrible person and that he doesn't deserve you as a sister, and all of those negative thoughts that are directed towards him, you play into his hands, believe it or not. Of course, he doesn't understand any of this complexity, but now you will, and you will understand why your reaction is better to change so that you help him change his way of reacting. Anything else? Okay. The thing to do when you are around him, when he reacts in this aggressive or nasty manner, is to practice promoting, P-R-A-I-O, promotion, practice, promising, I don't know what it is, P-R-O-M something, practice, promise, promotion, P-R-O-M-W. This is a child's word. Okay, this is like a child's word. Okay, in other words, a word that it's like a made-up word because the child doesn't know how to express this. Okay, now is this the word is for her or sort of from him? From her? From him? From him? Prom with a W. Promwa. And this means he is looking for a place of comfort and proof that you care about him even though he he won't... Oh, sorry. That's my talking clock. Thank you very much. Even though he won't reciprocate this to you, he expresses this great pain he has inside that is stuck from when he was a small child. He was bullied very badly when he was from 5 to 10 years old at school, and he won't ever admit to this because he doesn't feel any of those feelings anymore because they were traumatic to him and he has suppressed them completely. Because they are completely suppressed, they affect him in the way that we have described earlier. And this general strategy he has of practically turning everything around onto the other person is not a conscious way that he prefers to operate. It is a deep reaction, not a response. If you think of a reaction as something that is not conscious and is created through an unconscious response to a trigger that is painful. Whereas to have a response is to respond from a place of consciousness and of conscience. And this is greatly different from a reaction. A response allows the person to hear things in the now without all of that old baggage attached. And it allows the person to think clearly about what they are hearing and choose an appropriate response. This, of course, is still done within milliseconds and won't always be pleasant. Okay, fair enough. But there is a major difference between an unconscious reaction and a conscious response. Know that your brother is unconsciously reacting with this complex way of trying to protect himself. Your only other way of responding to him that can make him come into the present moment and not be influenced by all of that old pain is to practice wonderful compassion for him. Knowing what you know now, you know that underneath all of his bluster and aggression is an injured child. And he was badly injured. Try to recall him as a 5-year-old, and when he kicks off, see him as this little boy who is innocent, and practice loving compassion towards him by what? By promoting his good side. You can do this by saying something like, I know that you are angry, but I also know that you are I don't know if he's your little or your big brother, okay? But I also know that you are my brother, and if he's your little brother, you might like to say that, or your big brother, But I know that you are my brother, and I love you. And I know deep down that you love me too. You get very angry, but it's not me that you're angry with. And you are still my brother, even when you are angry. And this will never change. After you have said this, simply turn around and walk away. Do not stand there and wait for an answer. Do not keep looking at him. Just leave him with this message. And know that it will sink in, but it may not sink in immediately. So make sure you turn and leave the house after you've said this. You can be like a broken record, and every time he kicks off in any way, shape or form, just use this and then leave. He is expressing a great need for healing, and he doesn't know this, and he doesn't know what he needs, and he doesn't know what to do about it. So from this point of view, he is not evil or bad. He is simply an upset child that has not been able to resolve his way of being in the world. When you see him again, you can say this straight off to him and then turn around and leave. You can get in first and leave. He needs to hear this. He needs to hear that he is loved by someone and that he is valued by someone and that he is promoting his what? He's promoting his promoting his low, his lonely, his hello. His logging his login. That he is promoting his login for further pain when he practices this way of engaging with you. This means that when he can experience a different reaction, he may think about changing his reaction. This is how we influence others. It's like a dance, and if we are waltzing but don't like the waltz, we can change the tune and lead a new dance, and they sort of have to follow, if you get our drift. You are in relationship with your brother, whether you like it or not. He is your brother. And so it is like a dance with him. Anyone we are in relationship with is always like a dance. And we can either lead or follow. In your case, it's better to lead. If you allow him to kick off and then you follow with the same dance of anger and disrespect and bad thoughts towards him, you are caught up in the same dance. Instead, you can come in with a whole new dance and a whole new tune in your head. And if he chooses to try and stick with the old dance, simply leave the ballroom. It is of great credit to you that you care very much about your daughter's relationship with your family. And she will appreciate that you are trying to practice a new way of engaging with your brother. She doesn't need to know about all of this complexity, but she does need to know that you care about your brother and that you will do what you can to try and get him to be more willing to engage with his family in a more loving way. Anything else? That's it? Oh, sorry, it was a bit of a pain in my back. Anything else you need to say? You don't need to try and get him to counselling or convince him that there's something wrong with him. This will only lead to more outbursts and denial, and he won't want to hear any of that, so don't go there. I repeat, do not go there. This will not help anything and certainly won't help him. It will make him feel like you are now saying he is crazy, and this will push him further and further away from how you want him to experience you. So practice this simple exercise instead and work on understanding that his outbursts have nothing to do with you and everything to do with the pain that is stuck inside him from childhood. If you can see him as the 5-year-old that you loved, you can easily tap into these words and these feelings of kindness and compassion for him. When others are angry, we need to accept their anger, but this does not mean that we place ourselves in a wrong place, in a dangerous, in a that we don't place ourselves in a world which gets dangerous through pushing more and more buttons. Okay, so that means you don't get into like having an argument with him about things, okay? Don't go there. Don't go into that world, because it just pushes more and more and more buttons in him, and he's likely to get into rage, okay? So you don't want to do that. That's not going to help you. It's not going to help him, and all of that, okay? When you think about your brother, find something, anything that you like about him, and focus on that when you think about him, and allow any feelings of sadness and grief to come up, because deep down you love your brother, and deep down he loves you immensely. It is within family relationships that the most dysfunctional behavior is greeted with either equal and equal and prideful anger, or with compassion and kindness. Often people don't show their shadow side outside of families. And so within families there is a lot that is expressed that is only expressed when a person feels safe. So once again, notice that the fact he can be like this with you tells you that at some level he feels safe with you, at some level. We are not saying you should stay around a person who is abusive or violent. We repeat, we are not advising you to stay around a person who is abusive or violent. But we are suggesting you get in first, you say your piece, and you get out before any of that happens. This could be the start of unlocking a part of your brother which allows him to become more self-aware and more able to see that it is a conflict inside himself that he is fighting and not a conflict with people in his family. Anything else we need to do? Oh, we're going to end it there? Oh gosh, more. There's more, but wait, there's more. Oh. Questions, don't used. You know enough about great pain to understand that your brother's pain is indeed great. That was it. It's a toughie, but you know what? There's a hell of a lot of people out there experiencing this in their family home. You know, somebody just being really off the planet and crazy reactions. You know, people will experience them as kind of crazy reactions. But, you know, that what's come out in this is so vital to us, for people to start understanding in their families, that usually there's something that's got stuck there. And the person just has no idea of it. They don't know how to deal with it. They're not aware of it. It's driving them. And anything that comes along and pushes those buttons, boy, it's like a volcano going off. Yeah. So listen, good luck with this. And as I say, do protect yourself. Don't stand in there where you're likely to be pushed or anything like that. And don't hang around waiting for abusive replies. Just don't do that. Don't do it. Get in and say your piece if you're going to try this. Of course, nobody can make you do anything. This is, I believe, and the way I work, this is your higher wisdom, higher self, whatever way you want to look at it, that I'm connecting to. So normally because it is that, and it's, you know, kind of like your individual little God particle, if you like, that's all hooked up with the big God, is the way I would look at it. You know, it's absolutely usually right for you because it's actually coming from you. But you know, only you know if it's something you want to do or not, or want to try or not, you know. And maybe sometimes we have to spend a bit of time thinking about all of that. Maybe you need to listen to that a few times to sort of really start to get it, you know, to get where this is coming from, to be able to really feel some compassion for him, to know the truth about what's going on. And the truth is, your brother isn't a really horrible person. He's just kind of, he's carrying stuff and he's kind of mixed up. So good luck with it. And as I say, if you feel you need to work with me more on this, you can come online, and if you haven't already done a free half hour with me, I offer free half hour sessions with people to see if I can help you in further ways, and or look at what we would need to do to resolve certain issues that you want to work with. So good luck with it, and I'll say a little prayer for you that you can help resolve this with your brother. Okay, bye-bye.